Chicago Now on a Thursday, and we are witnessing history, everybody. You don't often get to see Caitlin Cody dressed super cash, but there's a reason for her look today. Caitlin, are you mic'd up yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, she's mic'd up. There's a little event downtown that might have snarled traffic. Is that?
Kind of. It's more so that my schedule has been so wonky. So wonky, you guys. I have been on nights since last Friday.
We've missed you.
Through the weekend.
We've missed her.
Over
She's
the first
back.
part. I have missed this show so much. And I'm so excited to be back.
It speaks to the dedication you have to this show that you are willing to come. Yeah, exactly.
This is my normal clothing, actually, by the way. Every time I see everybody at work when I'm dressed this way, they're like, oh, you're going to work out? Like yesterday I got into work and I had clothes on like this.
When you were coming in.
Anita goes, oh, did you just work out? I was like, nope, just getting to work. And then just now I saw T. Lee in the hallway. He's like, are you going to work out? I'm like, no, I'm going to do a show.
Gonna host the show.
You guys, I just pulled in. I was like, I'm coming.
I feel overdressed right now. I feel like a banker or something. I should
I think this is how we should dress for this show.
Wouldn't that be? I do believe, if there's any show to dress like you are, it's this show. But anyway, welcome
Amen.
back, Caitlin, Cody.
Thank you. What did I miss?
Lots.
Yeah?
Yes, a lot of
What
stuff.
was the highlight
we
of
miss
the
you.
past 5 days?
When you came back just 5 minutes ago. That was a highlight. We do have a lot to get to, Caitlin.
Yeah, let's get
And
into
I know
this.
you haven't
Okay.
had a chance to look at the rundown.
Have not.
Because you were stuck in Lollapalooza traffic.
That's right, yep.
Lollapalooza is back, and speaking of, we are going to get some inside tips on surviving the crowds, maybe navigating traffic in and out.
The weather is phenomenal.
The weather is, you
Yeah.
are serving up a nice forecast for
Yeah.
the entire weekend. We're going to be checking in with 103.5 KISS FM's Brady for his go-to hacks and the tips that we don't want to miss. Also, it's going to get awkward a little bit later in the show, Caitlin.
My
'cause
favorite.
We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about dating. Let's
are?
talk about sex,
Okay.
baby. Yes,
Let's go.
It's a book called The Second Coming. It's about, and it's spelled C-O-M-I-N-G, everybody. Don't get any weird ideas.
Are we sure, though?
Your minds are in the toilet. In the absolute toilet. Carter Sherman talked to over 100 Gen Zers.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, Gen Z
Yeah.
are between ages 13 and 28.
Okay.
So this is a deep dive into what this generation's approach is. And
No sex. Just don't do it until
hey,
you're.
funny you should mention that because
Okay.
apparently,
That's happening.
it's down. Okay?
Well, I'm not surprised.
It's down.
I'm curious
So
to
we're going to
know.
get the inside about why that is.
Okay.
And then a little bit later, this gentleman has got over 1 million followers. A call, a
From The
personal phone
Rock?
call from The Rock himself, and a mic in his hand. As always, we're talking about comedy heavyweight Godfrey.
Wow.
Who is going to be calling Chicago his
he
home for the
coming
next
here
few. I believe
in
we're
person?
talking to him via Zoom.
Okay. got it.
But he is going to be performing in Schaumburg
Exciting.
with a set of shows this weekend, so we get to talk about him.
Dwayne "The Rock"
with him
Johnson
for a little bit
himself?
of a preview. Exactly, not The Rock. We're not talking about The Rock, but this guy's got like a.
Like he got a call from
Yeah,
The Rock.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
very
he's
exciting.
He's a very, very big deal. But
Wow.
before we get to all that, we're doing what's
TMZ?
trending today with the folks who really know what's trending. Our
Michael
friends
Babcock.
at TMZ.
Yeah.
Michael, I don't know if you can see Caitlin here, but I don't think I've ever seen Caitlin, like this version of Caitlin Cody. She got stuck in some traffic, so she's super cash.
I bet you guys are casual behind the scenes
Yeah,
too.
Caitlin, do you want a job, Caitlin? I mean, this is like.
You know what I mean? I mean, why
No,
not?
You both look fantastic. You look amazing, and I didn't even notice.
Hey,
Thanks. These
I
kind of
was
look
trying
like
to think,
they're
are they
boots
boots or are
something.
they sneakers? It's hard to see.
They're
they're
in
cotton
fact
socks. Yes,
They
indeed.
are. I'm a Midwestern father today.
Exactly.
Looks amazing. Very
Socks with
stylish. Looks
sandals.
great.
That's like my look at home.
That's me. You're right. That's me.
At home, that's right.
It's comfortable.
All right, Michael, we got some interesting topics trending for you guys. First of all, Diddy, you've been taking us through this trial the whole time, but now
Yep.
we're kind of in the sentencing phase here. The trial's done. He's been convicted on not every charge, but one or two of them, and now there's talks involving Donald Trump. Get us up to speed.
Yeah, as if the story wasn't crazy enough to begin with. Right now, you work in Donald Trump here. Oh, I don't know where this water came from. Sorry. You work in Donald Trump, and he is actually, we are told from people who are close to the president, he is actually considering, and it's something that could happen. It's not a definite it's going to happen, but certainly could happen. He's aware of it, and he is considering pardoning Diddy. Now, you're absolutely right. There were 5 charges that he was charged with initially, and he was convicted on 2, what were essentially transporting sex workers across state lines. A lot of people say, hey, this is not a violent crime. This is not something where he should even be locked up and not allowed to post bail right now. He should be out until he's sentenced. And because of that, again, the president is keeping a close eye on this. Now, we are actually told that bail decision, and Diddy has many times asked for bail every time the judge has denied him, but he has once again said, I'll put up $50 million. I got other people who are willing to vouch for me. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here on October 3rd when I'm sentenced. But the judge has resisted up to this point. So we're told, though, that Donald Trump is watching this. And if Diddy were to be denied bail in this latest motion that he's filed, that could actually kind of push the president to make a decision sooner rather than later. And that, again, that decision could be that he was going to pardon Diddy. And obviously, if he pardons Diddy, then Diddy's not going to spend another single minute in jail because he will then walk free. If he's not pardoned, he faces up to 20 years in prison, but nobody thinks he's going to do that. That's the worst case scenario. You're probably looking at a handful of years, if that at all.
Do we know, I'm just curious as someone who's hearing about this story, how does Trump get involved with certain cases? How did Diddy get his people in touch with Trump's people to try to have this even happen in the first place? Is it because he's a high-profile person?
Yeah, I think, that doesn't hurt, right? Because it's been talked about so much, and we know Donald Trump likes to watch TV, likes to keep up with what's going on and what's being talked about. So obviously he's aware of it because of that. But I also do think Donald Trump feels like he was the target unfairly of the legal system, of lawfare, of the Justice Department. And that's what Diddy has said too. Diddy has said, for some reason, you are all trying to take me down. You've seen me, I'm successful, I've done well for myself in life. And for some reason that has made me a target for the Justice Department. So I think that Trump and this is just reading between the lines here. So this is just me talking, but I think that Donald Trump likely believes that they're sort of in the same boat in some ways here, that they've both been targeted. And because of that, Donald Trump is in a position. It's a federal crime. If it was a state charge, Donald Trump couldn't do anything, but it's a federal charge. And because of that, with a swipe of the pen, Donald Trump can make this thing go away. And I think that's probably at the end of the day why, the most important factor for the president.
Wow, this is interesting. And
so
I
we'll
think
see.
reading between the lines, I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Okay, are there others in Trump's orbit, Michael, that may be advocating either for or against this pardon?
I'm sure you've got both. I mean, look, first of all, it surprises me from the standpoint, just because if you go back I think several times Diddy has talked about Trump and not talked about him in a flattering way. Now, obviously, this was before he was asking for a pardon from Trump. So I have a feeling he'd probably speak about him in a little bit, different tone now. But bottom line is he was a critic of Donald Trump. So from that standpoint, we know Donald Trump can hold a grudge. I was surprised that he was considering it, but again, maybe for Trump, he feels like the lawfare targeting thing that just surpasses all other reasons to not pardon Diddy. But I think, bottom line, you're going to have people in Trump's orbit who are going to say, "Hey, this is not good." I mean, these were some pretty ugly crimes here that he was accused of. We know whether or not he was convicted of it or not. We know he brutalized Cassie. We've seen the video. Do you really want to be, seen as freeing somebody who does that? I am not so sure that the answer should be yes to that question, but I'm not making a decision.
Before we switch gears and talk about Hulk Hogan, do we know when this bail decision is going to come down? When should we be?
It should be sometime soon, Kayla, because they filed a motion a couple days ago. It should be sometime soon. They've got about 60 days until the actual sentencing, so there is some time, but Diddy obviously wants out.
Yeah, he's desperate to get out. All right, as Caitlin alluded to, we're going to switch gears here. This is a surprising update involving the late Hulk Hogan's daughter, asking not to be a part of what probably is a massive estate.
Yeah.
This is a head scratcher, but I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship. Can you get us up to
They
speed
were
on this?
estranged, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were estranged. And by the way, we just got Hulk's cause of death. It was a heart attack, I think many people had suspected, but we have now officially heard from the medical folks that it was a heart attack that took Hulk Hogan's life on Thursday. As for his daughter, Brooke, they had not spoken for 2 years. Brooke is married. It turns out her husband had actually been speaking with Hulk, and they were hoping that there would be a way to repair the relationship so they could come back together and obviously be a family once again. Sadly, that never happened. They never got the opportunity because Hulk died. Bottom line is she actually, and I think this is pretty admirable for her because I don't think it's something a lot of people would do, but she said that in 2023, she did not want to be part of the drama. She felt like there were people around her father who were taking advantage of him, who did not have his best interests at heart. And because of that, she really didn't want anything to do with anything that was going on. And she foresaw that the day Hulk did sadly die, that there would be a lot of people fighting for all of this money. His name and his likeness is worth a ton of money, obviously. And she didn't want to be part of that drama. And because of that, she made the decision to actually ask out of the will. Now, did that actually happen? I think that still remains to be seen. It's just an answer we don't have yet. But she did absolutely, in 2023, ask to be taken out of what would certainly be worth millions and millions of dollars.
I
Probably
remember,
a lot.
didn't they have a show together? It was like Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
and his daughter. I remember that
Yeah,
show.
Hogan Knows Best.
It's so sad. Okay,
Yeah.
so talking about the family dynamics after now that he has passed. So he has a new wife, right?
He does, yes.
Does she have any siblings?
I'm not. They don't have any kids together,
No, Brooks-
but he
does
does
Brooke
have
have
a new
siblings?
wife. She is significantly younger too, and I think that has. Look, I remember talking to Hulk after he got married to her. Her name is Sky, and this was in 2023 too. And I don't think that's a coincidence that that's when the falling out happened with Brooke Hogan. But I remember talking to him on the phone, and he was so excited and so hopeful for the future. And he really had felt like things were not going great with his kids, but that Sky had family, and that he then, because he was marrying her, he had a newfound family himself. And I remember he was so excited about it. So Hulk didn't feel like he was being taken advantage of in some way. But I guess the question is, did other people around him see things that led them to question whether or not her intentions were pure? I know he didn't feel like that. And he was, I think, madly in love with her from everything that I've seen and heard. From him directly, as a matter of fact.
Michael, if for some reason she is named in the will, not of her own accord, but because of her dad or anyone around him, is this a situation where she could maybe donate any money or to distance herself from it?
She could, absolutely. Obviously at that point it would be her money, and unless there's something in the will that indicates that she's supposed to do X, Y, Z with the money, she would be free to do whatever she wanted to do. And I think it'll be really interesting. Something just says to me that Hulk wouldn't have taken her out of the will, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, that's another one of my speculations here. But I think that bottom line, despite the fact they weren't talking, he loved her. That was his daughter, and obviously she loved him, and she has since said so. After his death, but it's a shame they never got to get back together. That's hurt. That hurts.
Is there any insight about moving forward? Because Hulk, his trademark, his wrestling IP, his image. So who has the rights to all of that? Do we know?
Great question. I think a lot's going to be determined in the will. I mean, you would expect it to either be his wife or his kids, but that's worth a ton. I mean, he's got a new wrestling organization that was supposed to launch, as a matter of fact, on Fox next month. He's got beer, and he's got a million things that he sells. And it's worth a lot of money. So who controls that now, I guess, is the question. I would imagine, though, it would be his wife or his kids or some combination of those.
All right. Thanks for getting us up to speed on these trending topics. Michael Babcock, always good to see you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you. Bye.
I'm glad you got to see Caitlin Cody in rare form as well. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back,
thanks, guys.
We are going to get all the stuff we need to know to get in and out of Lollapalooza safely, navigate the traffic, come up with some insight. Yeah, we're going to be talking to Brady from 103.5 KISS FM after this short break. Stay with us.
10:22. It's time, everybody. Lollapalooza is back. And whether you're a festival pro or this is your first time navigating Grant Park, our next guest knows how to do it right. Brady is the afternoon host on 103.5 KISS FM and is no stranger to big crowds, headlining artists, and the energy that makes events like Lolla unforgettable. He joins us with insider tips. How's it going? Happy Thursday.
Oh, I don't think I've ever been an insider. I'm so honored to be one today.
Oh,
this is
totally
exciting.
are. You're an insider.
Yeah.
Yes.
And guys, this is what we've been training for. This is the weekend. It is
Broski.
completely acceptable to wear the fanny pack, okay?
Yes,
so
yes.
bust out your fanny packs. Whatever you put in them is your business. I'm not here to ask questions.
Chapstick and
But yeah,
sunblock.
Oh, of course. It's just chapstick and sunblock.
You know, maybe some sunglasses.
Yeah, maybe some Malort, but who knows?
There we go. Yeah, I've got a bottle sitting in my cabinet that I got on this show.
Gross.
That's another matter. Brady, we're going to start off by asking you this: biggest rookie mistake that you see Lollapalooza goers make?
Easy. Don't forget your phone charger. Your
What?
phone is everything, okay? It's your
Okay.
map. It's your escape out of there. It's your link to your friends. Who the hell knows where they went? You need to bring that phone charger. There's charging stations. If you don't, you're going to be screwed.
There's charging stations.
Things have changed a lot since I was a member of the crowd
I
at
didn't know
Lollapalooza.
that.
Are they hard? Are the charging stations? Are they like porta johns where there can be a huge line, or are they pretty readily accessible?
I think they're mysteriously scattered throughout. So you have to do some searching. I just know for us and our crew, because we are going to be there broadcasting live all weekend long. We have our own setup, so we're safe in that regards. But yeah, I would bring a portable charger, something that you can just click and your phone battery goes way up, because
Yes.
that's the last thing you want is your
A
phone
dead
to die.
phone.
And by the way, if you don't post it on the gram, it never happens. So
Okay, so I have a question because I've never been to Lollapalooza. What is the rules about like bringing in items? So you mentioned like the fanny pack. What can we bring? What can't we bring? Can we bring water with us, or is that not allowed? What are the rules?
yeah, I think you're allowed to bring bottles that are empty, because you can fill those. They have water stations, obviously, so that's acceptable.
Okay.
But if you're trying to bring any kind of liquid, they're gonna open it, or they're gonna ask you to dump it out. So back to the Malort business, you might want to either chug it before you go in. Not that I recommend that behavior, but yeah, but definitely you want to be careful with what you bring in. I know
Okay.
there's small bags and fanny packs that are clear that are allowed to come in,
Oh.
but they are pretty strict, obviously nowadays.
Strict
so.
on the rules.
Okay, Brady, in terms of folks' itinerary and how they navigate this festival, there are so many names on the docket here. There's obviously the headliners and stuff, but what advice do you have for folks to manage their schedule so that they can see all their must-see acts and their go-to acts without getting, totally caught up in the crowds?
Yeah, and it's funny because once the schedule comes out, that's what we do, right? We look and see who we must see, and then they have a great app where you can look and see exactly where they are, look at the map, and know you're going to be walking, you're going to get all your steps in. All your steps are going to get in here in the next 48 hours, 72 hours. So make sure you know where each stage is, and I would say if there's a must artist that you want to see, it's okay to miss the end of one set if you really want to see that artist. But it's always so funny when there's a big artist, like last year's example was Chappell Roan.
Yeah.
The entire wave, the crowd just gets up and everybody's just like running to the stage. So if you want to beat that crowd, maybe miss the last couple of songs of the set that you're watching.
Oh
Okay.
man, your heart has to go out to those acts where they're on before one of the big ones, and they just see a sea of people leaving their set before their encore. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so wear some quality socks and some solid shoes, some solid tennies. So my question is, if you're a huge fan of one of these artists that are going to be in town, whether it's the headliners or it's not, do you have any recommendations? Because you get behind the scenes where people might be able to catch a glimpse of their favorite artist outside of school. You see you're outside of school.
You honestly, you never know what you're going to see, right? Like I've seen Teddy Swims last year come out and hit the side stage, and just, you never know. You just got to keep your eyes open. A lot of the artists, they get carted in golf carts in the back. There's actually like a secret little like hidden road that they take the artist to and from the stage.
Way.
So access to that is kind of difficult unless you have like a VIP wristband.
Cool.
But you honestly, you never know, and especially with Lollapalooza, this is our Super Bowl in music here in Chicago. You never know what surprises that you're going to see, right? So I would just keep your eyes open, keep that phone charged, because who's going to jump on stage with Olivia Rodrigo tonight? Who knows?
Yeah, a lot of good questions.
Go to
a lot
the
of
pizza
intriguing
places around
Totally.
Lala.
Right?
All day.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
You know?
All right, hey Brady, you mentioned this is the Super Bowl for you guys. Tell us a little bit about how you guys are approaching your coverage there. Do you expect to see like artists swoop through where you guys are? You're going to be doing interviews. What's your whole plan?
Yeah, we love it. We have we have all hands on deck. So everybody from the Fred Show, I'll be there broadcasting live, like I mentioned, and the other stations here at iHeartRadio Chicago, because it's a really diverse lineup. So there's going to be some hip hop artists, a couple country artists, obviously the EDM, but really this year it's all about pop. Sabrina Carpenter's a headliner, Olivia Rodrigo. We've got Alex Warren today, who's got the biggest song of the year. He's performing as well. So we're really focused on trying to capture these moments on stage, and the interviews will be backstage. We'll be putting them up on the socials. And really, we just ask every single artist and their management and their labels, hey, come by, come stop by, come say hi to Chicago's #1 hit music station, so that we can give that content back to our listeners.
So if someone's coming in for Lala, obviously public transportation is the way to go. But if that's not an option, do you have any suggestions, because you're the Lala expert, of where people could park? Where should we go?
Okay, so hear me out on this. I am a huge advocate for Divvy. That is the best way to get around the city of Chicago, festival or not. It's you get the bike, and they're easy to find parking stations, and you're going to get there quicker than walking. It's going to be a little less work on your poor feet. So if you can find a Divvy, I would suggest do that at all costs. And by the way, those ride shares, they tend to kind of hike.
Yes, they do.
Sure.
So yeah.
I think that's a great call, because then if you're on bike, you can navigate around stalled traffic.
But what are the rules about drinking and riding a bike?
I mean, I don't think it's
know?
advised, but I don't. I
would
think,
would
they're not going to throw up any
recommend
roadblocks for you.
Yeah.
Maybe
I wouldn't
bring a
recommend
helmet.
drinking and biking ever.
No.
Do it to the festival and then Uber home, maybe.
I nearly severely injured myself on the way home from the Pride Parade one year. I rented a Divvy, and I had overindulged, and I went down in a bad way. No helmet.
No.
I'm lucky that I walked away.
Did anybody laugh at you? Were you with your friends?
I'm sure they
like...
did, but yeah, the memory of that is very, very
traumatizing.
hazy. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Hey, where are you guys going to be set up? Or can people come by and say hi to you and your team, or are you guys going to be kind of behind a lot of barriers off on your own?
Yeah, there's a specific media section, right? So a lot of radio stations from all over the country, really, and MTV's usually there. And a couple years ago, we had Eminem's daughter's podcast doing a show from there, which was kind of cool. But yeah, you have to have a media wristband, or I think the VIP ones might get you back there. But you'll be able to find us. We're going to be out in the crowds. We're going to be saying hi. We're going to be taking videos of you. We're going to be asking you what's in your fanny pack all weekend long. So if you see us, don't be a stranger.
Okay, one last question from me. If someone's coming to Lala, they're not sure of all of these different bands. Because you know this music, are there any that stand out to you that is a do not miss this show? You know probably how they're prepping for these shows. Which ones are going to be phenomenal?
Yeah, and in years past, that's been a much easier question, because I would have said Chappell Roan last year. A couple of years before that, Post Malone, this new guy named Post Malone was taking over, right?
Yeah.
This year, it's kind of a little bit of everything. I think you can't miss Gracie Abrams tonight. Obviously, she has the Taylor Swift seal of approval. Like I mentioned before, Alex Warren, dude's just got a rocket ship on his back, so his set's going to be phenomenal. Other than that, obviously, Olivia and Sabrina, I mean, wouldn't it be great? Obviously, they've had a historic kind of battle or a feud about a guy that they both dated. Wouldn't it be cool if one of them or both of them acknowledged the other? They did it right here in Chicago.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we
go.
can break some news.
Yes.
Have a great time,
Spill the tea.
sir. Thank you for taking time for us before your Super Bowl.
Have fun. Lots of caffeine.
Thanks for having me, guys. Caitlin, make sure you get to Lala.
Bring that phone charger. Great advice from Brady. I didn't realize things have evolved.
Phone
charging stations.
It's like an airport, I feel like. So you got to bring the clear bag. You can't bring too many liquids.
It's been around so long. It kind of stands to reason, because I have noticed in covering Lollapalooza that there's something new every year, and just to make it even more and more efficient. Like one of the examples that we cover every year is the Lost and Found, how streamlined they have that is. There's a whole menu, like instantaneously on the Sunday after. you can like browse in a
No
very user-friendly
way.
way, like the entire lost and found. Like, oh, there's my phone. Oh, there's my keychain.
Is there pictures?
Pictures, a link, and then you go. There's a whole it's like fascinating to even cover that. It's weird.
They got it
It's like, wow,
down.
covering a lost and found is fun. Yeah, actually, it is. It's kind of like, wow, you guys
Like,
have
what
this
did
down to
people-
an absolute science.
It kind of reminds me too of like when you run a race and you kind of like layer up and then you drop your clothes along the way. I feel like that probably happens as well. The good
for
news
sure.
is it's going to be cooler this year, but my goodness, in the years past, it has been so hot
Or
that I
muddy.
could imagine. Oh, or mud pits. Ooh,
Mud pits. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I could imagine that people just bring
But-
stuff
but-
that you
but
don't
like
mind
thi-
to leave.
Caitlin, this is perfection that we're looking at weather-wise.
Literally perfection. Yeah.
So
Although
great.
a lot of kids, they wear their bikinis to these things, so I don't know if
I
that's
don't
going
wear
to be
much. Yeah, there's some.
working this year.
Just say interesting people watching on Michigan
Very
Avenue
much, yeah.
during the course of the next few days. All right, we are going to take one quick break, but when we come back, we are going to speak with the author of a book called The Second Coming,
Yeah.
a journalist and author who has been closely following how Gen Z is redefining sex, intimacy, and relationships. So stick around.
Welcome back. It's 10:35. In case you missed it, we are talking to an author, Carter Sherman. Can you hear us, Carter? Our next guest, she's a journalist and an author who has closely followed how Gen Z is redefining sex, intimacy, relationships in a rapidly changing world. So this is Carter Sherman. Good morning. We're talking about our new book. It's called The Second Coming, and it's diving into what's really behind Gen Z's shifting attitudes and why it's not just about personal choice. She spoke to over 100 young people to understand how everything from social media to sexual conservationism, hopefully I said that right, conservatism? Conservatism is shaping an entire generation. Carter, good morning to you.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Where are you joining us from today, Carter?
I am in New York, but I do have a history with Chicago. I went to Northwestern, which makes a few appearances in the book.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Okay, I went there too.
All right, so let's dive in
nice.
first. Why did you make this book? What drew you to this topic?
Well, I have been covering gender and sexuality for almost 8 years now. I work at The Guardian. I used to work at Vice News. And when in 2021, it became clear that Roe v. Wade was going to be overturned soon. And so I started reaching out to folks to get a sense of what this might mean for somebody's sex life, because abortion is an outcome of sex. And what I found at the time was that people were really not thinking about how a potential overturning of Roe v. Wade could affect their ability to have the kind of sex that they want with the kind of people that they want. And time went on, Roe v. Wade was indeed overturned, and suddenly there was this rush of understanding, particularly among young people, that Roe v. Wade would be changing their lives in immeasurable ways, in ways we haven't seen since, frankly, the 1960s and 70s. We saw young people in Kansas in particular turn out to fight for abortion rights there, and I ended up actually getting a message on social media from a young woman who told me that she was living in Arizona and she could not get an abortion. And so she ended up self-managing or self-inducing her own abortion in a hotel room in Arizona in the days after Roe v. Wade was overturned. And she told me that she felt like that experience was a humiliation, that although she was happy to get that abortion, she felt like she was being punished for having sex. And that was when I understood that both personally and politically, we were entering a new world when it came to sex and young people. And I wanted to understand what that would look like, not just in terms of abortion rights, but in terms of things like changes in access to the internet, changes in access to porn, changes wrought by Me Too. And so that's what the book is really about. I interviewed more than 100 young people about all of those topics.
It is so sad to hear anecdotes like that, and that young woman not alone in that challenge. Okay, so Carter, take us through, once you got that inspiration that you just ran us through, what was your process?
Well, basically, for a few years there, if you were 25 or under, I was going to be approaching you with a microphone and asking if you would talk to me about sex. So again, because I've been doing this for so many years, I know so many young people who I've talked to about their sex lives, who I've talked to them about activism related to sex. And I reached out to those folks. I found people through places like Twitter, as it was then known, and Reddit. I found people through anti-sexual assault groups. I found people through anti-abortion groups. I just tried to talk to as many people as I possibly could and talk to as many different types of people as I possibly could. And of course, I went deep into the research. This book has dozens and dozens of pages of citations.
Wow. So you're talking about the change with Gen Z. What is the headline? What's the change that we're seeing in Gen Z versus millennials, for example?
Well, I think the big thing that everybody talks about is the quote unquote sex recession, which is this phenomenon wherein young people are having sex later and less frequently than past generations. So 1 in 4 adult members of Gen Z has not had partnered sex. Only about a third of high school students have had sex, which is down from about 50% when I was in high school. I'm a millennial. And we also know that masturbation is even on the decline. So that was one of the main things I wanted to understand is, why is this happening? Why are young people having less sex than we might expect them to be having?
Did we find out?
What did you find? Without,
There's
I know
no
we want
one
people
answer.
Okay, there's no. It's multifaceted.
I do not want to spoil anything. I don't think it's a spoiler to say that you could basically blame the sex recession on practically any modern blight, and some of them are more responsible than others. I think phones and smartphones and social media are a huge factor in the sex recession. We see a lot of trends and changes to mental health dating back to 2010, which is around the time that we all got phones with social media on them. But there are other things that are blamed, like porn, that I actually don't think necessarily have a ton to do with the sex recession. Because like I said, masturbation is down. So you would expect if porn were replacing people's IRL sex, that masturbation would go
be up.
So are you saying that people, like the younger generation, is not participating in or watching porn too?
No, they definitely are. They have a very nuanced relationship with it. So the other thing that has gone on over the last 2 decades is that there has been a cratering of sex ed in this country. Over the last 2 decades, the US government has spent more than $2 billion on abstinence-only sex ed, which is not something that tends to work. People who undergo abstinence-only sex ed tend to start having sex at the same time as people who've had more comprehensive sex ed, and they even have a similar number of sexual partners. Now, what porn has come to do, though, in response to that lack of comprehensive sex ed, is become people's sex education. They go to it looking for understanding about how sexual pleasure looks, how to give other people sexual pleasure, how to make themselves feel good. And I found really that young people felt like porn had profoundly warped their sexuality. Now, the science on porn is very muddy. We actually can't say with any certainty what porn has or hasn't done to young people, but people feel like it has made them, in particular, embrace rough sex.
Oh my gosh, which brings up a whole host of other issues. Talk about the title to us really quickly in terms of, you mentioned sexual conservatism. You know, when a lot of people say the second coming, obviously religious imagery might go through their mind.
You know,
Where did the title come from?
I had that original concern, but we just loved the pun so much we stuck with it. Basically, the title comes from a line in the book that I wrote where I said we are living through nothing less than the second coming of the sexual revolution. And even though, you know, I'm not sure that everybody loves the pun, but like sex is kind of funny, frankly. It's inelegant at the best of times. And I felt like if I didn't write a book about sex that was sometimes funny, even if it is also a profoundly serious topic, then I had failed. I want people to know that I have a sense of humor about this.
So the second coming, so you're saying that all of these sexual things that you mentioned are going down with Gen Z. But when you say the second coming, are you saying maybe there's going to be a turn of events and the new generation is not going to be affected the same way? Because it sounds like it's going to be increasing when you say the second coming, right?
Well, I think what we're really seeing an increase of is activism around sex. I think because of things like the overturning of Roe v. Wade, because of things like Me Too, young people understand at far earlier ages than past generations the sexual or the political implications of sex. And so I talked to so many young activists who were getting involved in the fight for abortion rights, the fight against abortion rights, the fight for LGBTQ plus rights, the fight against sexual assault. And I really felt that this clash between young people fighting against these changes in sex and fighting for the expansion of their sexual rights, that's what I really wanted to document and to make older folks understand that what is happening among younger people, that has implications for all of us. We are all going to be affected by the changes in sex law and sex policy and sexual culture.
In terms of who is going to get the most out of reading this book, you mentioned older adults are going to have some takeaways. Is this also geared toward younger Americans as well? Who did you have in mind when you wrote it?
Well, I think I thought of everybody, but I do think that, yes, I want young people to read this and to understand that what they're going through is probably actually more universal than they might think, that they might have misconceptions about their own sex lives that they're not understanding, or they're not understanding how their sex lives are being shaped by what is going on in the White House and in state legislatures and in courtrooms. I also wanted people who might be parents to know that this is what their young people are going through and to understand the ways that they can help them navigate all of that tumult.
I was literally about to ask you that. From the perspective of parents with very young kids, I have no idea how to broach the topic of sex with my kids. In all of this research that you've done and talking to all of these young people and all the research, what do you think, and what is your best advice? Obviously, everybody has different philosophies and ideas of what sex is, but from your experience in talking to these young folks, what do you think? What advice could you give to parents about how we should interact with our kids talking about sex?
Well, I should say, first of all, I'm not a parent, and everybody's kid is different. But one of the things that I found and was really surprised by in talking to young people was how often parents simply did not talk to their children about sex and basically left it up to the institutions in their lives or the internet to explain to them what sex is and should look like. And for me, I think, both in my own life and through my research, what I found is approaching sex as something that is not shameful and letting kids know that they can come to you with questions, that you are there for them as a resource and you're not going to judge them or make them feel weird or abnormal. I think, it's simple advice, but it really does go so far. And the young people I talked to who I think had the most nuanced and positive relationship with sex, they were the ones who felt like they could talk to their parents about this topic.
Opening up that dialogue. Yep, I think that's great advice, even from a non-parent. You're very astute.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Look forward to diving in. Carter Sherman. Oh, before we let you go, where can people find the book?
Everywhere books are sold.
Everywhere books are sold. Congratulations. Go Northwestern. Wait, did you go to Medill out of curiosity?
I did go to Medill,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. I as well. All right, look forward to diving in. Thank you so much for being on the program, Carter.
Thank you for having me.
All right, from New York City. Just fascinating stuff.
I have no clue when to talk to my kids about this.
We're not at that stage in parenting yet, neither of us. But I can feel it kind of creeping in because, even some of the content, the movies and everything,
I mean, literally, not sex, but like little kid shows, like Disney, for example. All of these, like princess, prince, they're kissing. Like the kids are seeing that, like the relationship thing. Like my 6-year-old, she, the princes and the princesses, and I'm like, I don't know how or when to talk about any of this stuff with them. And yeah, maybe we should have an expert on, like a kid psychologist.
How to navigate that and how to bring it up and
what age is it being introduced to them by their cohorts at school?
Right.
You know?
Because I think to her point, to Carter's point, it was the kids that had some sort of dialogue with their parents, where there was an open line of communication. If it's awkward, even if it's a little, weird to talk to mom and dad about that stuff, to have some kind of dialogue feels like an important priority.
Because you want that communication. I think you get in trouble when you shut that down. You want that open communication with your kids.
Because then they've got to get it from
you got to keep them
other sources.
Safe. Yeah, I don't know. That'll be interesting.
That's a good idea, though. We should do that.
Get some advice.
We are going to switch gears. When we come back after this short break, we are going to introduce you to a very talented and very funny comedian named Godfrey. You've probably seen him over the years. He's been around a long time, and he's performing in Chicagoland this weekend. Godfrey is coming up next.
10:49. Welcome back. We are talking to a fantastic comedian now with over 1 million Instagram followers and his hilarious impressions. If you know anything about comedy, you know Godfrey. He grew up in Chicago, went to Lane Tech and the University of Illinois, and got to start warming up crowds for the shows like The Cosby Show. Recently, he performed at the Apollo and even got a call back from The Rock about it. Now he gets ready. The Rock. You're going to perform back at home. Welcome, Godfrey, to the show.
Godfrey.
Hey, you can hear me good, right?
Yeah, we can hear you. Where are you joining us from, Godfrey?
Cool.
Are you in town yet?
Yeah. I'm in town.
Fantastic. So you're Chicago's own Godfrey.
I got here early.
Well, you got to. If people are unfamiliar with your work, how would you describe it?
I say edgy, silly, a mixture of things depending on what mood I'm in.
Okay, I like it.
Depends on the day.
Lane Tech, a very well-known high school around these parts. How did growing up in Chicago kind of inform your career, sir?
I grew up in Uptown first, and being a child of Nigerian immigrant parents, Chicago being a very segregated city, the area in Uptown was the most, I think it was in the Guinness Book for like the most integrated and diverse area, because all my friends, we were all immigrant kids, like from Poland, Russia, Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, Nigeria, China, Korea, Yugoslavia when it was Yugoslavia, Haiti. We were all like immigrants in India, Pakistan.
Oh my goodness
So
gracious.
it was kind of cool. What'd you say?
I said, goodness gracious, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how people should grow up. I think Mexico also, Puerto Rico, and you had African American, then you had Americans like Jewish American. So yeah, I went to a Jewish preschool in Edgewater, so you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
everything was diverse until until you left the neighborhood and you were like, oh wait a minute. They don't want me over here. Let me go over here.
Oh, goodness. Well, speaking of comedy, was it when you were a tiny tot at that age that kind of comedy entered your life?
Yeah, but it wasn't till college.
Okay.
It wasn't. I was a big baseball guy because growing up watching Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg, and Sean Dunston and just. I was a big Cub guy and a big baseball guy, and I was a big Yankee fan too. So I'm thinking I was going to be a baseball player.
Did you play at
And
Lane?
then I thought I was going to be. What'd you say?
Did you play at Lane?
Yeah, I played actually football and track and field at Lane Tech.
Oh,
but,
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, but I played baseball up to because the freshman year I went to St. Benedict High School and then I transferred to Lane.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
transferred to Lane because I wanted something bigger and better, and then I said I went to Lane. So yeah, I thought I was going to be an astronaut then too because I was a big. I was a big science nerd, because my father was an educator for 45 years in Chicago. So I thought I was going to be an astronaut for a long time, and then I started doubting NASA.
Yeah. And switched to comedy. So what has your journey been? How did it start? Where did you go along the way?
Well, I was a pre-med psych major in college. So
That's amazing.
I was a pre-med, Nigerian, go figure, Right. So I was, in college, I had Tommy Davidson, who was such a fantastic comedian.
Yeah.
He came to our school and performed. And that was when I started going, I really want to do this, I think. And plus in college, in college, we did a lot of activism, a lot of protesting and stuff like that, and being able to speak your mind. And through that's when I was like, I think I can say things and and bring a message through comedy and humor. And I was a big George Carlin, regarding, the stuff that has happened to Bill Cosby. I don't take away from his comedic genius. Comedy, George Carlin, Joan Rivers. So I was always into stand-up comedy, Richard Pryor, and so that's when, third year of college, that's when I started, and I come back to Chicago. I start doing open mics and stuff like that. So
And you actually opened for Bill Cosby, is that right?
Yeah, it was his second sitcom on NBC. When I moved to New York, that was my first. I was audience coordinator. That was my first gig. It was right next door to Sesame Street. I was right next door to Sesame Street, so I got to go to Sesame Street and see the production and stuff. So it was amazing.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, so tell us the whole story because we're jealous. The Rock called you.
Yeah.
What?
What'd you say?
How did that happen? With The
Dwayne
Rock
Johnson.
calling you?
Oh, The Rock, because I just shot my new special at the Apollo June 12th, which is we're still editing, so I think my special will probably come at the end of the year, beginning of next year. But yeah, The Rock. So I was just putting stuff up on Instagram, and I see this. I'm in North Carolina, and I see this video message, and it says The Rock. And I'm thinking it's a joke. It's not. Is it a butt dial? I don't think you can butt dial a voice message. So I'm like, The Rock, and then I hear it, and he just goes, "Hey, buddy, I just want to see you win. I'm really proud of you, man. You're at the Apollo. This is amazing." I was like, "What?" And I just played it to everybody.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be so fun to
Nice.
do? You should do that to your the people who follow you on social media. Maybe
Surprise
your
them out of
biggest
nowhere.
fan, send
Surprise
them
him,
a video.
yeah. It's really cool, man, because I know his best. I know Kevin Hart, so I know Kevin forever.
You
and
do?
Kevin knows him.
What?
What'd you say?
You know Kevin
What'd you say?
Hart?
What?
Look
Yeah,
at
I know
you.
Eddie Murphy. We're
Listen.
comedians.
That's true. You guys are a tight group, right? You guys are all kind of buddies.
Yeah. Well, I know Bill Burr. I know Chappelle. I mean, for years, I know Seinfeld. I've worked with Seinfeld, Ray Romano, Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. We all have the same birthday. Me, Robin Williams, George Wallace, John Lovitz.
No way.
We all Steve Byrne. Yeah, we have the same birthday. Steve Byrne. Yeah, all of us. Yeah. So when you've been doing comedy for over 20-something years, you meet these people, you know these people. You know, it's like this is normal to me. This is I've been in New York over 20-something years.
Godfrey,
we have a co-anchor that just wanted to say hi to you, Tia Ewing.
Godfrey.
Hi.
What's been up? I haven't talked to you in a while.
How are you?
You got to give him one of your best impressions. Did you give him Trump?
Okay, give us a little Donald Trump. Before we, hey, Donald Trump. Let me ask you, hey, Donald Trump, are you going to pardon Diddy?
He's my favorite rapper. He's going to be pardoned.
What?
That is spot on.
Wait. That was really amazing. Do it again. Ask him another question.
Okay, hold on. Donald Trump, where are you playing in Chicago this weekend, and how can folks get tickets?
What did you say?
Where can folks check you out in Chicagoland, Donald Trump, this weekend?
Well, you know, Chicago Improv, which I've been doing forever. Tonight, Thursday through Sunday, 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. So I'm going to be working all the way through at the Chicago Improv. And the thing that people get mad because when I say Chicago Improv in Schaumburg, they're like, that's not Chicago. I mean, like, no duh. It's Chicago land area. And I used to go to Woodfield Shopping Mall when in high school with our Lane Tech jackets just so we can piss the guys off in the suburbs.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad
you know, you have Lane Tech football and track and
all
field
over
on
the
back of your jacket with your patches. People hated you. But
oh, Godfrey, you're a pleasure.
Great to talk to you. Have great shows this weekend, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Can't wait for the special to come out as well from the Apollo.
Yes.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you, Godfrey.
Thank you.
All right.
That impression was spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on.
Spot on.
I would close my eyes and know the
Glad
difference.
Tia jumped in to make sure we prompted him on that. We are going to turn the reins over to Tia Ewing and the 11 a.m. crew here on Chicago
I won't have
Now.
my socks tomorrow.
Welcome back, Caitlin Cody. Thank you for dressing up for the
home.
occasion. Caitlin's back, and we're back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a great one, everybody.
thank you so much for watching this edition of Chicago Now. How you feeling? It's almost Friday.
I'm good. Thursday, I spent the entire morning in front of the Lollapalooza gates, waiting for
hot?
people. No, you know what? Yes, it did get a little bit hot, but that breeze was perfect. I'm so excited for the folks who have been to Lollapalooza before and have just sweated their buns off, and now they finally have okay weather to deal with.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting time, and of course, we're going to talk to someone all about that a little later in our show. But we got to talk about what we have coming up during the show today that will keep you locked in. Have you been to any type of theater around Chicago? I think Chicago does theater very well.
I actually saw a really nice show here. I think it was actually earlier this winter. That's how long ago it was. Time goes by so fast. The Harry Potter show that was happening. You know what? What theater was it? Nederlander.
Okay.
Awesome. Great show. But I'm not able to catch many because I wake up so early.
Yeah, the last one I saw, I think, was Tina Turner. I think was the last one. It was pretty good. So yeah, we gotta get better lighting. Jeez, I like them in the dark. Maybe I gotta sit up. All right, so we're gonna talk about Billie Jean King. Will take center stage at Chicago Shakespeare Theater, and actually we're gonna be talking to one of the actresses who will join us during the show. Of course, Lollapalooza, but first we're joined by someone from Block Club Chicago.
Yep, Mark Lederman. He's joining us. So Tia, have you ever thought if maybe Grant Park extended all the way to the lakefront, to Michigan Avenue, so take away DuSable Lakeshore Drive?
I haven't.
Be interesting.
Well, yeah, it would be interesting.
That's a plan. Apparently, Mark, you just published a story, and I was reading it. So there's a reimagining happening, and it was last talked about back in 2002, but now it's in the talks again. They're getting community input, aren't they?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be at the top of your hour, so I'm glad we're here talking about this. And yeah, this is a plan from the Chicago Park District. Every park in the city, I did not know this until I reported this story, but every park in the city has this kind of grand aspirational plan of what improvements in that park would look like over the next 10 to 20 years. And the one for Grant Park hadn't been updated since 2002. So they're going about the process of doing that, and they unveiled renderings for the first time and a bunch of little smaller proposals from bathrooms to concession stands. I think the hallmark glitzy takeaway from this one is that they would connect Buckingham Fountain and Grant Park directly to the lakefront by taking Lakeshore Drive, which splits it up right now, and depressing it or dipping it below and putting a deck on top. So pretty much you would have a giant pedestrian plaza straight from the fountain to the lake where people can roam freely, ride their bikes, and underneath the cars would go, and the lanes would stay the same, and there would be a sort of like light show art-filled experience for them that they say won't slow down traffic. So by all the indications, this proposal so far is pretty popular, but the question is, who's going to pay for it?
Yeah, that was going to be my question. It sounds like the bill alone would be huge. And then my other question would be, so Lakeshore Drive, DuSable Lakeshore Drive, where would part of that stretch go?
It would go underneath. The word they're using is depress, so they would pretty much push it down and they'd put a cap on top of it. So pretty much people would walk over the traffic. It wouldn't be quite like a bridge, but it would be underground. The road would move momentarily underground. So
this was discussed before. Why did it fizzle out then?
I'm not quite sure, but you know, this is Chicago. We're used to seeing kind of grand, flashy renderings of so many different things, from baseball fields to improvements to the lakefront. So, you know, if every rendering we had was a reality, I think we'd live in a totally different city. It's fun to dream. You know, as a great Chicagoan said, make no small plans. But when it comes time to foot the bill, I think a lot of these renderings fall apart pretty fast.
Yeah, I think that's why some people are calling this kind of like a pipe dream. Yeah. And that's the reason why. So,
Mac, what's your opinion? How likely do you think this project actually is?
I'd say right now it's unlikely, especially when we're dealing with a time with intense federal cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. The state is going to have to find a way to pay for that to keep people on their health insurance. We're also dealing with potentially a $650 million fiscal cliff for the CTA that threatens to cut a fifth of train service. So I think there's a lot higher things on the bill than this project of making Buckingham Fountain look all glitzy and pretty. But I got to say, you know, I'm an East Coast guy originally. I've spent a lot of time in Central Park. It's kind of a place where you take your picnic blanket and your baseball mitt and hang out for a whole day. I don't think Grant Park is quite that. We've seen Grant Park really be taken up by kind of mega festivals and events that largely attract tourists. It's a central gathering place for Chicagoans, so it's nice to see that at least that making these types of plans is something that they'll even consider.
What do you think that does, though, to Chicagoans to see all of these, like you said, this one has come up before. You see all of these grand scale plans come up, and then it's like, next thing you know, it's just gone. And it just keeps happening, you know, a few years here, a few years there, and none of them really come to fruition. What do you think that does to Chicagoans overall?
I think it allows us to take all these renderings with a grain of salt, and I think it's good to dream, right? Us as reporters, we throw a lot of ideas at the wall, and sometimes only a few of them stick, and I think that's okay.
I guess that's a nice way to look at it.
Say it does happen. I mean, is their biggest concern traffic? Taking away the outer drive from people would be a complete mess.
Yeah, I mean, this proposal wouldn't change the traffic lanes at all. There's actually a separate project being pursued by the state Illinois Transportation Department and the Chicago Department of Transportation. They're in charge of the actual road of Lakeshore Drive. The Park District, as you imagine, just controls what's around it. Under this new proposal, it would update the road for the first time since it was built really in the 1930s. It's called the Refine the Drive. And the proposals that appear to be moving forward for that plan would as an 8-lane highway. There were some original proposals that would take 1 lane on each side and turn it into a bus-only lane, which was something that was very advocated for by cyclists around the city and community groups. Seems like those ideas aren't moving forward. So the actual traffic configuration of Lakeshore Drive, whether you like it or not right now, seems to be the plan moving forward.
Well, I mean, just stopping it for the actual project, building it up, and that summer. If
it would be
Lakeshore
interesting.
Drive is closed the entire time. It would be interesting.
What I love about what you've said so far is your optimism. You've been very optimistic about all of it.
Thank you.
What are some of the downsides if this doesn't happen, or if it does happen?
The downsides. I mean, I'm used to seeing construction right across the street. I don't like noise either. I'm sure you guys don't either. But in Grant Park, I feel like we're hearing that anyway for NASCAR, for Lollapalooza. It's just kind of a quintessential construction site many times today. As far as the downsides, it's really hard to tell because this isn't really much more of an aspirational plan. The actual logistics of what to do to make this happen hasn't even been really thought out yet. It's just a rendering on a piece of paper. So I think the pros and cons, if this actually does come to fruition, would be a little bit more clear down the line.
Mac, do you know, would they kind of adjust maybe the northern portion of Lakeshore Drive too, like the S-curve I know has been talked about a lot?
Yeah, I mean that they've been planning ideas to change the S-curve for a very, very, very long time. There was a proposal in that and the redefine the drive plan. I don't think that's moving forward. There was a plan to add a similar tunnel under Oak Street Beach that would kind of smooth out the S-curve, and I don't think that's happening either. We're also dealing with lake erosion that's making our beaches smaller and smaller. So it's kind of really hard to see what that area might actually look like from here on out, but I don't think there's any real serious plans right now to smooth out the S-curve.
Has there been any, I know this is just at the sketch stage, but has there been any discussion about what Friends of the Parks thinks about this? Because as you know, any type of project that involves the parks in Chicago, like the Bears planned, obviously has to get Friends of the Parks on board.
Yeah, I mean, Park Advisory Council's Friends of the Park, they're a foil to many city plans, and I think that's good, right? We need pushback on everything we do to actually check out if it's going to work or not. So there's definitely some of that here. There's a Grant Park Advisory Council, and their name is their name. They can advise, but they can't actually change the plans being forth by the Park District. They left this presentation where the renderings were unveiled last week. Pretty happy from what I'm told, but it was a mixed bag overall. They would like to see more improvements to the south end of the park. The Harrison Street pedestrian bridge has been crumbling into disarray and I think is largely unusable. They'd also like to see kind of maybe more practical, easier fixes prioritized first than kind of the grand pipeline dreams of a pipeline from lake to park. So that includes, adding public restrooms around the park, adding concession stands. There's a new thriving pickleball court scene around in Grant Park now, and they'd like a place to eat and drink somewhere near there too. So I think something like adding that, a hot dog stand, an extra bathroom, that seems a pretty bit more achievable than a grand plan that they're presenting.
I wonder if this would happen in our lifetime. Would it be one of those things where like our children would enjoy it, but we'd be super senior citizens at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it while I can still use my legs and ride my bike. So maybe you guys can have me back on.
I think
to
our
talk about when it does.
grandchildren are going to be pushing us in a wheelchair along
Through
Lakeshore
the new
Drive.
park.
We're gonna be like, I remember when It was this and
And
that.
we talked to Mac
Exactly.
on
Yeah,
Chicago
and he told
Now.
us all, and it happened. Interesting. I kind of want to go back to this tunnel because, okay, Mac, I act as a traffic reporter here at Fox 32. So
Not
that's just
act.
Where, okay,
That's
I
part of
am.
your job.
I am. Okay, I am the traffic reporter here at Fox 32. Okay, but like having a light in there and having art. You said that they thought it wouldn't be that distracting. I would say that'd be really
art?
distracting. Yeah, art. While you're driving down there, they want to like liven it up, but they say, I mean, I just think that'd be kind of dangerous, don't you think?
You do?
I don't know.
We need some.
Yeah, I don't
if
know
I'm
about
in a tunnel, if the traffic
People
gets
would be
backed up
distracted.
in a tunnel, you need
Okay,
something to
that's
look
true,
at.
I
Don't you
guess,
agree, Matt?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, not to include you
yeah,
in
I
this
mean,
debate, but
I'm
don't
used
you
to
think?
I'm used to the Holland Tunnel, taking that into New York City, and that's just like not fun or pretty at all. And it just kind of 20 minutes of gray. I prefer maybe not that, but I think of this something maybe more comparable to the walking escalators at O'Hare Airport with the little light show on top. I think that's pretty fun.
Okay. Although I love driving down Lakeshore Drive and seeing the city.
I know I don't want to be stuck in a tunnel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
For
I
a
mean,
lot of reasons.
I guess if you have to forego that, give up that to then have a larger space for you to enjoy. I'm sorry, you're included in our debates that
Yeah,
we have on
I'm
the show
sorry.
now.
No, you guys are fun.
But I
Someone's
think
gotta
that,
debate it.
for that reason, you got to give up something to get something.
It's true, yeah.
Everything's not
You're
going to be
right.
perfect.
You're right.
Yeah.
When do you think we could learn some more information? When's the next conversation going to be had where we can know if this is going to be a go or
And she can
they
give her public
veto
input.
it down? Yeah, let me know so I can write
Yeah.
down the time and be there.
I'm gonna send you a link to the public feedback section so you can write as
Perfect.
many paragraphs you want down there too. It seems
Good.
definitely has something to say. So I'll pass that on to you. You can still look back. They're taking public feedback on these proposals through mid-September. They've been taking feedback about the plan in general since 2022, and they plan to finalize the plan that may never happen at the end of the year. So a plan for a plan that will be finalized at the end of the year, and then that will kind of guiding blueprint North Star for Grant Park improvements in the foreseeable future.
Mac, you got some good stuff. What else are you working on real quick before we let you go?
Oh my God, I don't know
Anything
if
you
I
could
can
talk about?
give away all my stories. I think you guys might have to have me back on to talk about them when they're out there. But it's definitely been an exciting summer in Chicago, full of crazy characters and things to do and big stories to write. I'm having over here. I hope you guys are too. So yeah, definitely have me back on, and I'll love to share them with you
Yeah,
when
we'd
I
love
can.
to. Yeah, you're doing some good work. Give us your usernames on like social media so people can follow you.
Oh my God. X Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Mac MACK_Liederman LIEDERMAN. But I don't love social media that much anymore. I'd rather you just go directly to our website and read the stories. blockclubshy.org. You can also send me a tip at Mac MACK at blockclubshy.org. I'd love to talk to you there.
Awesome. Is there a reason why you decided that you don't love social media anymore? Is it the back and forth? Everybody wants to fight. Everybody wants to hoop and holler. Is that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think I spend too much time on this in general. This is probably my worst addiction. So I feel like I rather just get news these days, especially the way, X Twitter has changed and the debates have gotten more furious and less informational. I rather just, click right on the apps or the websites and read my news there. I think that's the best way to be informed if you're not watching your guys' show right now. It seems like
That's
you
what
guys
I'm
do a good
talking
job
about.
too.
Hey, you do report on some hot button topics, so I could see.
Yeah, people are just weird.
Say, wait, hey, Mac, I am sorry I called you Mark at first. I know that your name is Mac.
Oh, it's okay. No, I've
You
been
can call
to,
me Abby. Okay, call me Abby.
People call you
I'll be
Abby?
Mac.
Oh,
No, but
I
I give Mac permission to call me Abby
Because
now, just
of
because
our
I called him
snafu.
Mark. I apologize for
Well,
that.
Mac, I'm happy that you've joined us for our craziness because it's a little bit off the rails at times.
No, you guys are fun. I appreciate you being interested in this.
All right, we can't wait
We'll
to
talk
have
to
you
you again
back.
soon.
We're going to talk to you about the next thing that you're working on.
Okay, sounds good.
All right,
Sounds like
we'll
a plan.
see you later. I'm like, he's probably like, I did not sign up for all this.
No, he's probably like this. What just happened? What's happening here? He's
I
a good
didn't ask
sport.
him why he's not on social
Mac,
media.
not Mark.
And,
Yeah, he's
Mac,
like, whoa.
not Mark.
Yeah,
But
let's make that
it's
right.
hard to make that. I mean, easy to make that mistake because if you look real quick,
Yeah.
the C kind of looks like an R.
But now
it's
I
okay.
know
I
him.
get it.
Now I know him, and
I
he
know.
knows me.
I know. So now we got to
So
do
we're
better.
friends.
Okay. So next we are talking to Katarina. I hope I got that right. Mogus, who is a tech expert Is that right? Y'all whispering over there. I get it right? You're my studio audience. Did I get it right? I did. Okay, good. We're going to talk to her about rewriting the rules of who gets to lead tech conversations and a whole lot more. ChatGPT. Do you have a name? Have you ever used ChatGPT?
You know what? Oh, more recently I have for wedding stuff, and it's actually really helpful.
You
so
know,
I wish I would have used it more.
I call her Gabriella.
Oh,
the
you
G.
do?
Yeah, I named her.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, well, why would I just call it ChatGPT without giving her a name?
Yeah,
so
you're trying
she's
to think like
Gabriella
who's
Paulina
another smart
Thomas.
Person? Oh,
You get
I see.
it?
Yeah. But you're also thinking like, okay, who's another smart person that starts with a G? And you're like, oh,
Gabby.
Gabriella.
Yeah,
All right, gotcha.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wanted to have a personal relationship
That's actually
with me.
really nice of you.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't want people to know that that's who you're talking to, because otherwise they'll think you're crazy. So you got to give it a name. So I'll be like, hey, Gabby. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say whatever
Gabriella
I'm going to ask.
Paulina Thomas, you
Correct.
said? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to have much more right after this break. All right, welcome back. Maybe now you've named your ChatGPT a name. Well, we are talking to somebody who knows all about that tech space. Her name is Katerina Mogus, and she's joining us right now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. I love your tip about naming it. On the commercial break, I was thinking of different names I could name my ChatGPT.
You got any ideas?
Maybe just my alter ego, Katerina.
Okay, I like it.
That's good.
So tell me this. So, you know, it was a few years ago that we would look at the tech space and we would ask the question, where are the women? How did you find yourself entering this space? And then you have all of these followers on TikTok.
Yeah, so I started making TikTok videos during the pandemic when everything on TikTok you would see was lip syncing videos or dancing, but I really saw that there was a need for educational content. I saw all these small businesses shutting down because they couldn't change from a storefront to an online platform, and I knew I had those tools in store. So I started creating TikTok videos, helping people and brands turn their online or their storefront to an online storefront, and I got a lot of success in that, helping people, and one thing led to another. Everyone really enjoyed watching my girly female tech perspective. As you guys can see, my room is pink. Everything I have, my computer, my mic, pink and bedazzled. So I really add a fun flair to it and also have unique ways to show tech in everyday life. and also fun ways that appeal to everyone, not making tech seem so scary and too, spec based.
Can I ask you, Katerina, what are some examples maybe of ways you've helped businesses get to this digital space? Like what's some of the information you're giving them?
Yeah, I was showing brands, this is all you need at home. You have your iPhone with you, your laptop. These are small ways that you can up your social media presence. These are ways that you can take better product photography and, learning with tech as tech started to evolve even more and more. So we have new phones coming out like foldables. I have the Z Flip 7 here, and I love showing my audience different ways they can utilize this tech to make their days easier, more productive, and also just fun.
Let me ask you this, because we are in the age of everywhere you turn, you hear about AI. And some people, regardless of their age, are still a little, cautious, not sure if they want to, really interact with AI. What is your message to people that may still be a little fearful of having that interaction?
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can utilize AI, just small bits and pieces to make your day and life easier. I actually interviewed a managing director at Google about AI and what she does to boost her productivity as an executive. And what she told me was really cool that I think a lot of people can actually implement into their daily lives, whether they're professional or just regular day-to-day basis. And I've been using this as well. So there's a feature called Gemini Live. It also works on ChatGPT. You can chat with your live AI model. So it's really cool because she would say, hey, if I'm going to a big presentation or going on a panel, I can turn on my Gemini Live and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking of saying. Can you kind of change that a bit, or how does my tone of voice sound? So it's really cool because it analyzes your tone of voice, helps you sound more professional, more enthusiastic, and kind of coaches you. So I've been using this on daily basis, just like to chat with, hey, maybe can you schedule this meeting, or I'm going on a trip here, what is the best hotel in this vicinity? So there's small ways in my life that I utilize that and really show that on social media, that people shouldn't be afraid of AI, but if they don't know where to start, just something small that could help their day-to-day planning.
Interesting. I've never thought of using AI like that. Have you used it that way?
I've used it to kind of think about like what I'm going to eat, like meals for the week, to get different ideas, so you're not eating the same exact thing. Katerina, let me ask you this. You kind of mentioned, some of the new trends. You mentioned the phone that folds and all of that. We've seen a lot of these videos online showing like these robots doing crazy things. Have you seen anything that you think will go to market soon that involves robots that will make our lives easier in our homes, in our everyday lives, not necessarily ChatGPT, but an actual something?
Well, I go to all the different tech conferences around the world, and these brands bring me to their showcases. And something I found was really cool was having an Alexa in your home. We have a new Alexa that has so many new capabilities. That's a quick AI that you can use again. Hey, can you find the soundtrack from this movie? I thought it was so cool when I was watching the demo. I have a whole YouTube video about it that I can share with you guys later, and it just makes planning so much easier. If you're a parent and you have your kids going to so many different sports in the summer, different activities, you can ask your Alexa something, actually go through your emails and check maybe what you ordered or what email was sent to you about your children's soccer practice being maybe on field D today instead of C. So it's really cool to be using things like that in your home. And I think home tech is really going to be elevated in the next few years, and people are going to find more ways to use it on their daily basis.
So, Katerina, it seems like you, make videos and you educate people on a wide range of things, about the tech conversation going around. What kind of engagement do you get? What's your most successful kind of video? Is it talking about AI? Is it product reviews? Is it helping people transition their business to the digital landscape?
A lot of people love watching reviews, of course, before you buy a device. Of course, you're going to go on YouTube or TikTok to learn more about it, but what makes my video stand out and what garnishes so many views is when I make day in the life of how I'm actually using this new device. So this is a new device I just got my hands on a few weeks ago, but I made a video like, hey, this is actually the comparison against different competitors' phones of the camera, because that's a huge selling factor. So that video alone across platforms has maybe 70 million views, and it helps me get more ideas for other videos as well, for long form content of, hey, people are really looking at these specific specs. This is what's doing really well. People love the camera. People love to see how I'm using my AI in my daily basis, because it's all new, and people are excited about learning it. And even if they aren't, it's something new and cool to check out.
Absolutely. Let me ask you something. If someone was going to go buy a phone right now, because we are in the world of content creation, and a lot of people just getting started, they're filming it themselves. So they want to make sure they have the best phone. What phone would you suggest right now?
Yeah, well, right now for all my content, I shoot everything on my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I would suggest waiting a month and a half or two till September when Apple rolls out their iPhone 17 series, because of course, there's going to be a huge upgrades to camera quality, and how it looks on social media is number one most important for sure when creating content and becoming a content creator. So that's what I'm using.
I was just pointing because we had a video showing that Google changes the way that we kind of get dressed.
Oh, interesting.
What was that video all about?
Yes, so it's really cool because there's a Google Live feature where you can just prop up your phone or just take a photo of yourself in any outfit, and the AI will put new clothes on you. If you're scrolling on, on Google trying to see what you want to purchase, it will put it on you so you can see what it looks like. You don't have to try it on. You can see if the color looks good with your skin tone and your hair. I love it. I feel like I'm going to be spending a little bit more, especially when I'm online shopping at night maybe, but it's really cool, and also accessorizes. So not only does it put a new outfit on you, it'll put accessories, new shoes, so you kind of see the whole look. I was very impressed with how well it turned out, and I'm really loving the feature.
Yeah, that sounds really cool actually. And maybe one that you would actually save money too, because why waste your money on a dress that's blue and maybe you find out blue isn't your color?
Hey.
They also have price tracking as well, which I really like, because it'll give you a notification. So it's like, hey, I virtually tried on this dress. Okay, maybe I'm not going to get it today because it's high price, but then it'll tell you like, hey, it just dropped, it's $50. Of course I'm going to pick it up now.
I love this.
I like that too.
It's like we're living in the Jetsons in real life.
So it sounds like you were kind of a pioneer on TikTok. You said, well, a lot of people were making music and dance videos. You were starting to educate people. Does it just blow your mind to think about what you made videos about back then versus now?
I know. Honestly, I kept a journal where every day I would write small things like, oh, this video got 1 million views, or this brand reached out to me, this person saw my video. And now looking back, it really makes me see how far I've come. And also, I moved back home with my parents and my family, so everyone was really involved in it, and we all got really excited. So I'd love to bring my parents with me if I'm going on a really cool brand trip, or if I get to test out a new car. My dad and my brother are the first to drive that new Porsche or Ferrari.
Well, the next time you can call us. You don't have to call your parents and your family. You can just call us. Wouldn't you like to test drive a Ferrari?
Oh, I would, yeah.
Yeah, call us next time,
Come to Chicago.
Katarina.
Come on. Where are you located right now?
Right now, I'm in Toronto, but I'm going back and forth from LA to Toronto.
Okay, well, we'll meet you in LA for that test drive.
Yeah, make sure you fly us out there.
I
Tell
got
everyone
you.
with a brand.
Those brands got the budget. We know. All right, Katarina, where can people follow you? You've been an absolute joy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, they can just search Katarina Mogus. I'm Katamogs on TikTok and YouTube, and my podcast is Future Obsession Podcast.
Perfect.
Awesome.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
congratulations
Have a
on all
lovely
your
day.
success. You too.
Thank you. Bye.
We gotta
Learned
get into
so
this
much.
content creation.
I
What
know,
are we
no
doing?
kidding, yeah.
We sitting up here, we could be riding around in Ferraris.
First of all, we know where we can get the best outfits from.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah,
I'm glad
Google.
you asked that follow-up question, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, all right, how do I get in on this? All right, this is a name that is kind of stuck through the generations. Tennis legend and trailblazer, Billie Jean King. Well, she's going to take center stage here at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater. Well, they're bringing the icon to life, and we're going to talk to the actress behind this new show. Coming up, for now, we're going to toss it to break. We'll see you very soon. Welcome back to Chicago Now. Okay, we're switching gears a little bit.
Yes.
And we're talking about an exciting show that's going on right now at Chicago Shakespeare Theater. It's talking about the life and legacy, really, yeah, of feminist icon Billie Jean King. So tennis legend, also activist. And we have Shalina Kennedy, who you play her on stage. Let's talk about the show. What could people expect?
Well, the first act is really about her fighting for everyone else, for all of her causes, and then Act 2 takes a really in-depth look at her own story and her fighting for herself. So I always feel incredibly inspired by the play. I mean, every night I hear it differently, and I leave very inspired, and I hope that audiences do too.
I love the tennis skirt, by the way.
Thank you.
I must say that.
Very fitting.
Everything's tennis nowadays.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, did you have to do anything different? I know you've been in a lot of things. I was looking up your bio. Did you have to do anything to prepare for this role a little bit differently than other roles in the past?
Yeah, I mean, listen, she's a living legend. Like, everyone knows her, they know her tennis style, so I coached a lot of tennis with some wonderful people at Midtown Athletic Club. and I studied her. Like, I've spent hours with her over Zoom. I've watched a lot of old interviews, a lot of videos of matches, so a lot of research.
Yeah. Was it intimidating at first? I mean, even sitting down and chatting with her for the first time?
I mean, it's always intimidating. Like, I played Carole King on Broadway, and so I got a chance to do that and to talk to her as well. And anytime you're portraying somebody, you know, that people have such an intense respect for her, and, you know, an intense knowledge of her tennis style and of who she is as a feminist icon, you just want to get it right. So. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but also a wonderful challenge to do it.
Did you learn anything that maybe you didn't know going into this?
Everything about tennis. I was not a tennis fan before this show, and now I am, like, for life. I am all about tennis from now on.
What changed that for you?
Well, first of all, my very first tennis match ever, I'd never been to a match until, I think it was last year, I had tickets to the Open.
Okay.
And I texted Billie Jean and Alana, and I said, hey, are you going to be at the Open? And they were like, actually, yes, like, what match are you seeing? And I told them what it was, and they were like, no, come and sit in our box. And I was there till 2:30 in the morning. I saw Coco win, I saw Jokovic win, and it was one of the best nights of my life. And that was my very, very first tennis match ever, so I am sold.
So are you like buddies now? I mean, you're texting Billie Jean King. Are you like buddies? Like, hey, what did you have for breakfast?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I try not to bother her too much. She's always all over the place. She's always on a flight. She's always doing so much press and still fighting for all of her causes. And so I don't want to bother her, but she's incredibly generous with her time. Anytime I need her, anytime I have a question, she's always there. She's an incredible listener. She's taught me a lot about grace and about generosity.
I love that.
So during the show, do you guys talk about the battle of the sexes that went down, and I guess what's some of the actual scenes that are playing out?
Yeah, well, you know, the Battle of the Sexes is, I think, obviously the most, you know, famous match of all time, but also, you know, what Billie Jean King is probably the most famous for. And, you know, we try to shed some light on all of the other accomplishments and the other things that she was passionate about. So we do touch on the Riggs match, but I don't want to give too much away. It makes an appearance, but it's not the focus of the play.
Any comedy woven into some of
There's
this?
a ton of comedy, and I'm glad you asked, because that's the thing that's so surprising about the play is it's hilarious. I mean, we get laughs like right from the very beginning, from basically the first scene. And Julia Antonelli, who plays younger Billie Jean, she's hilarious. And so, you know, when she kind of gets out of the gate there, she's very, very funny.
Do you feel like the audience really gets into it and they're laughing along with you guys?
Yeah, and I think, you know, the wonderful thing about laughter is that it opens up your heart, and then you can feel all of the other stuff that's a part of the play. But yeah, I think the audience is with us right from the beginning, and it's a pleasure.
I know you've done other shows before. What makes this one different for you?
I think the nature of the play, the material itself, the fact that she's still a living icon, the fact that it's still so relevant. I mean, so many, I don't want to give anything away, but if you come to see it, there are a lot of themes that are still very much present in today's society. So it feels important, it feels timely.
I think you said, what, this is your 6th show in Chicago?
No, my 4th.
Your 4th?
Yes.
Okay, I'm adding some more.
Yeah, well, listen, I'd love to have
a
6.
lot.
Yeah, I know, I did Mamma Mia, Paradise Square, The Band's Visit. We actually did Paradise Square here before it went to Broadway, and I love doing shows in Chicago. The audience is so unique. It's like the last piece of the puzzle, and the audience is so intelligent, and it's just great to get their feedback.
Yeah.
So this show, is it for people of all ages? Like, would you encourage maybe people to bring younger kids, maybe learn a lesson or two from it?
Definitely, and it feels like a history lesson without it feeling like a history lesson. Like I learned so much from it, but it's incredibly entertaining. Like you said, it's really funny, it's moving. And yeah, it's an exciting way to get this education about tennis and about feminism and about the LGBTQ plus community. Like there's just so much that you get from a single viewing of the show.
And it's already running.
Yeah.
And so how much longer do we have in Chicago?
We've got until August 10th.
Oh, wow.
So get your tickets.
Ticking.
Yeah, get your tickets
Yeah,
now.
you gotta hurry up.
Wow. How about some of your co-workers there, you know, the other actors? Are they kind of feeling the same way and really learning a lot from this show?
Oh, a ton, yeah. And it's amazing, like there's so many people came with different levels of knowledge about tennis and about the people that we're portraying. But, you know, like Larry King, right, Billie Jean's husband, he's still alive, you know, he's been, you know, around a little bit, you know, and so it's lovely to just know that we have this beautiful challenge and this honor of portraying people who are still there. And I think everybody has this like reverence and respect for those people.
I know you said you really didn't do a lot of tennis
No.
before taking on this role. What did you have to go through to kind of like even, I don't know, do you try out? Is that the right term to even like get the job, the main character?
Yeah, definitely. We had auditions. And tennis wasn't a part of the audition process, but you know, like when I was training with these coaches, I was like, listen, you don't have to make me the best tennis player in the world. You just have to make me look like the best tennis player in the world. So it's a different task, right? So I don't really know, I don't have to know how to serve well, but I have to look like I serve an ace every time. So it was a lot of watching old videos of Billie Jean and like comparing my style and really getting that, you know, that famous backhand that she's got.
Have you had to do anything like this kind of preparation for other shows before?
Well, sort of like playing Carole King, like she even came backstage and she taught me her style because I'm a piano player, right? I've been playing since I was 4, but I play classically, and there's a very specific style that she has, like using her left hand and the way that she kind of gets into it, and I just needed to sit beside her and watch her body language. And it's like that with every time you play somebody who's alive, you have to sort of go into that, the rhythm of their bodies and the way that they move through the world.
Do you see yourself, you know, I don't know, maybe in 2 years from now, joining a tennis club? Do you think this is something
I see
you
myself
carry
doing
on?
that now. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I feel like I'm now hooked, and I'm so sad that I didn't play in high school. I feel like I maybe could have been decent at it. Like I love it. It's a really, really fun sport.
I know this is kind of, sorry to
No, go ahead.
I know this is kind of cliche to say, but you kind of look like you would play tennis.
Well,
like physically speaking.
Yeah,
Thank you. Well,
you're in shape.
And people always are like, "Oh my gosh, you have the same physicality or body type as
Yes.
Billie Jean King." And I mean, that's the thing. I've always been like a little bit kind of like strong and. I don't want to say stocky, but like I put on muscle.
I'm stocky.
No, but like
You're not stocky.
I'm athletic, but I put on muscle really easily. You know what I mean? And I just have that natural sort of tendency towards sports. I was a dancer, right, when I was younger, so I was always led towards dance and the arts and not so much sports. But that can change. You can become a tennis player, or at least for a hobby, when you're an adult. So
yeah,
it's my
anything
new
is
it's my new
possible.
hobby.
Are there any other icons that you like wish that you could play on stage or hope to one day?
Well, it's funny because I have a musical in development called Rough Trade, which is about the Canadian rock legend Carol Pope. She had the band Rough Trade in the 80s. And it's interesting because like I seem to only play characters that either have the name Carol with an E or King in their names.
That's funny.
But I'm really excited about that musical as well because she was also an activist and very famous in Canada and also the U.S.
Now I want to see this show.
I
I gotta get there. I gotta get some time.
How much would it mean to you to see everyone watching come to your show before August 10th?
Oh, please come. It would mean a lot. I think everyone has something that they can take away from the show, and I just hope that everybody is as inspired by the story as I am.
Yeah, you're very warm. I like
Yes,
your
you
I like
are.
your demeanor.
If people want to follow
very
you and
nice.
follow your career, where can they see you on socials?
Well, I'm new to TikTok.
Okay,
Congratulations.
This is the perfect time to
But I'm
launch.
also, my main thing is Instagram, so at Shalina Kennedy.
I love the name Shalina. What made your parents come up with that name?
Well, my mom loved the name since she was a kid. She read it in a book, and then apparently, like my great grandmother was Selena, and I didn't realize that might have also been a connection. That my dad loved it because it was similar to her name.
First
beautiful.
Shalina
There
I've
you
ever
go.
met. Yeah, I love
Well,
it.
thank
Perfect
you.
for you.
All right, yeah, you got to go see this show. It sounds absolutely amazing. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for being with us. Go get your tickets now. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are talking with Kinsey and Roman. How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Always so upbeat.
Well, so are you. We're trying to match you guys.
You know what? I love them because my energy goes like way up whenever they're
We give you a shot of adrenaline.
We are. We're an espresso shot.
We
Double
are.
shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a lot of adrenaline in Chicago right now because a lot of people are looking forward to Lollapalooza.
Yes.
Are you guys going?
Absolutely. I'm changing in the Fox bathrooms and heading over.
And for the record, very different outfit than what she's wearing right now.
What are you wearing? Because I mean, you get naked for Lolla.
You do get a little naked for Lolla. I am wearing a very pearl-based outfit.
Is it kind of sheer? Like you can kind of see through?
Yeah, well, it's more like a
It's
kind
just
of like
pearls.
a Selena Quintanilla top. It's just
We gonna see the pictures anyway.
Yeah. So it's more like just the top with the pearl draping.
It's not Roman approved. What she's wearing to Lollapalooza, I'm not really approving of it, but she's still doing it.
You know what?
How does this work?
Roman,
how
come
do
on.
you,
You know
I mean,
your
how do you
wife.
sign off on this stuff?
You know,
signs off on nothing.
after this show, I'm driving back to watch our baby, and so she's gonna be with her radio show, and so we talked about it last night. She goes, I go, you look great, but like I'm not there to like hold your hand. Like I don't like this outfit without me, but it is what it is. She's beautiful.
What am I supposed to go in? Like snow pants?
I mean, it's hot. I get where you're coming from.
I
gotta
cannot
fit the
wait to
vibe.
see it on your Instagram.
I will be posting it too.
Oh, yes,
we have
you
to get
will.
over
Yes,
it.
you will.
See, that doesn't work in my marriage.
Yeah.
No. He would be like, cover it up.
Yeah.
He's like, I married a newswoman. I want a blazer.
Not at home. You don't be a newswoman at home, but you know, in the streets you got.
I haven't tried it with my fiance. I might have to.
Try it.
Don't like influence these girls.
Hey, it's about your own personal style. Exactly. You have to be who you are with the person that you're with.
But you don't want to mess around and find out, Gabby. It's another word for that, but you know.
Yeah, if you never tried it.
We need a little author session on some marriage advice from you too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk Lala. We're getting sidetracked.
And all the outfits you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Lots. So obviously this year, a lot of people don't know this, but Lollapalooza actually started in 1991. And it was a touring festival when it started. So it found its permanent home at Grant Park 2005. So this is actually the 20th year that it's been here in Chicago. So it's a huge year for Lollapalooza.
It is, and they have tons of performers. You know, tonight the headliners are Tyler the Creator and then country superstar Luke Combs. He's there, and then a couple notable performances throughout the day. Gracie Abrams, who is awesome, by the way, great pop songwriter, singer, the daughter of J.J. Abrams, who's a big-time movie producer. So she's performing tonight, and then also have Cage the Elephant and Alex Warren. Arguably has one of the biggest songs out. Sing it for him.
Oh, something so out of the ordinary.
Right. So he's there tonight as well. Tomorrow, Olivia Rodrigo, a gigantic star, and Korn. Couldn't be more different, the headliners. Olivia Rodrigo and Korn.
You know what I love about that night, though, is obviously like huge for rock and alternative. And I would say that Olivia Rodrigo, even being a pop star, she does lean alternative. She was just performing with The Cure. She has a lot of like Haley Williams influence and things like that. So it is interesting to kind of watch the two generations of alternative music go different directions at Grant Park, which I like. It's cool.
And so tomorrow, besides those headliners, Taylor Swift is not there, but her main producer, Jack Antonoff, is there. He's got a group called Bleachers. So Bleachers and T-Pain are also performing tomorrow night, which is pretty cool.
I thought it was interesting they had T-Pain's name in the little font. I'm like, how they gonna do my boy like that?
And he performed at, was it Coachella, I want to say? And his set was phenomenal.
People forget the bangers that come out. It's kind of like when you go see Usher and you're like, every single song's just a hit. It's over and over and over.
So I have a question for you guys. You know, Chaperone was such a big hit last year. It drew such a big crowd. Do you guys expect the same with maybe with Gracie Abrams?
Well, it's interesting. When he was talking about it, I was thinking to myself, I always love to see if anyone's going to break an attendance record, which Chaperone did. And she bumped Paul McCartney from the highest attendance, which is crazy. But that hasn't been outdone in years. I love me some Gracie Abrams. I bet she will be the highest attendance besides the headliner. I could see that totally happening. I don't see her bumping Chaperone from that spot that was previously held by Paul McCartney. I mean, that was unheard of. I don't know if you know this, but they actually had to move her stage last year. It was supposed to be Kesha's stage, and they're like, hey, awkward conversation, but we are being overrun. And Kesha's like, I don't want any smoke. That is so, please take the stage. So I don't know if I see that happening.
I love Gracie Abrams. Honestly, her music is so good. I will say, and I'm not even a huge Chaperone fan, but I think there was a movement with Chaperone.
A phenomenon.
And I think that there isn't, I don't think it's getting overtaken this year. I don't.
And you know what was interesting about Chapel is she kind of had that breakout
after being booked. That's why they weren't
Yeah.
expecting it. Where Gracie had that huge song, so I think they already put her at the correct size stage.
Yeah.
So, but I do see her. I think highest attendance besides a headliner will be Gracie. That's how I feel.
Okay.
And to finish the headliners, Saturday is Rufus Del Sol and K-pop group Twice, and then Sunday Sabrina Carpenter. Obviously a big star, and A$AP Rocky again. You couldn't have two different headliners.
I gotta see the different directions.
I know. Also on Sunday is Martin Garrix and Phineas, who is the brother of Billie Eilish, produces all her music and everything. Her
Writes
main
a lot of
collaborator.
it. Yeah.
But this is his solo stuff. Phineas on Sunday.
Cool. I wonder if A$AP is going to wear those heels that he went viral for. Did you see him?
Let's hope so.
Like little red high heels.
All I want to see is Rihanna. That's all I want to see.
She's with the baby, so I don't know.
I was just pregnant. I feel like she goes with him, though. I wouldn't be letting my man.
She can just give us a little something, something.
She was just pregnant still, or did she just have it?
She just had the baby.
She like literally just had it. She popped.
It's fresh.
I'll give you a little Rihanna story. So one of my favorite performances of all time at Lollapalooza, I saw Eminem years ago, and he brought out Rihanna, and they did a couple songs together. Crowd went crazy. So think about it, Eminem and Rihanna. Lollapalooza is pretty epic with the skyline behind you in Chicago. It was really cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm never gonna be able to see this woman.
You will.
You will.
You will.
There'll be a
You
time.
just
You're gonna
manifested
manifest
it.
it.
I'm manifesting.
Bingo.
Okay.
Okay, I want to know how it's changed over the years because one of my favorite coworkers, Adina, she was telling me how she's been going for years and years.
And
You know, the
she would
first
sneak
few
in.
years.
With the right ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were some things
Sorry,
with the ID,
Adina.
and she ended up getting in. You know, she said, but it's so casual. It used to be like, you know, not that many people. Now it's a whole
You hop
event.
the fence now, they locking you up.
Yes, you're getting prosecuted. I forgot what it said on there, but it was hilarious.
You
If
will probably be
don't pres-
prosecuted.
Yeah, if you
I
don't
think
spend, something
security
serious is gonna
these
happen.
days, just because of the world that we live in,
That's right.
security is harder than when Adina was sneaking in back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a different time of our country.
And I want to say, ID-wise, you don't necessarily need one unless you're trying to drink because there is no age limit. It's even under 2 is free, so don't be getting crazy. Don't be borrowing fake IDs. Just go. You'll be fine. And you know the music's changed because this was started by Perry Farrell, which was the frontman for Jane's Addiction, and it used to lean very rock heavy. That's what Lollapalooza was. So you see people kind of complain about that sometimes. We're like, where's Sabrina Carpenter here? But you have Riot Fest now. You have these other festivals. So I do love that it's become a well-rounded festival because so many people like more than one genre of music. So it is nice to go and see everything you're interested in.
When you think that Perry Farrell invented this back in the day, he would have never imagined that Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo would be two of the headliners. Very different than what it started
Luke
as.
Combs.
Luke Combs. But it's evolved into a kind of an all-genre festival for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you said that you're wearing a sheer. I got to go back to this.
Oh,
This
no.
sheer pearl outfit. What would you suggest someone watching right now wear if they're like, well, I don't really know.
I need to know how old you are and who you're going with before I suggest an outfit.
And who you're going to see too,
And
right?
who you're going to see. I like to be, inspired by different things, but it's fun to pick a theme. I think Lollapalooza, anywhere where you can dress in a theme is really, really fun. Like, I do think Lollapalooza is almost like an invitation for even like a little bit of cosplay or whatever you want to do, like that festival attire. But I also am like, be safe. If you are going with all girls, I'm not going with all girls, I'm going with work. So I feel incredibly safe. So that's like my number one priority. I see a lot of young girls there and women should be able to go out. They should be able to have fun. They should be able to be themselves. But it is like, be aware. This is a very big area and just be aware of your surroundings and be safe.
Also, the weather plays into it too. If you're talking about a 95-degree day, which it isn't today, I know that. But
that's why I got to bust out some different outfits.
Weather plays into it. If you got the sun beating on you and everything, you don't want to be wearing. You want to be cool and make sure you're hydrated and all those kind of things as well.
Is there one act that maybe is going to probably be drawing some like pretty good fits? Like, Gracie Abrams, I saw a lot of
Gracie.
like lace kind of. I saw
Sabrina
I would say Sabrina's going to draw the best outfits. Like, let's be honest. Like, that's what she's known for, the sparkle, the heart cutouts. I think we're going to see a lot of creativity and glitter there. It'll be the perfect sweet ending to Lollapalooza. That's where the fits are going to slide.
What would your advice be? Because we know a lot of people come and they want to be there the whole day.
Yes.
You're paying for it, so you should be able
Might
to
as well
do it.
go. Yeah.
What do you do for comfort?
For comfort, because
you're
not going to be comfortable.
You have stories of not being comfortable.
Yeah, some bleeding feet.
She's wearing cowboy boots tonight, right?
Yeah, I am wearing cowboy boots.
Kind of bringing in the country.
I'm going
with
really
country glam.
Kind of, but just more like Latina, more like Selena. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's kind of like the vibes of the boots. So that's what I'm going for
You guys
today.
are gonna freak with her top.
No, they're
Yes,
not.
they
You're
are.
overhyping it.
Love it.
I hate when he does this and he overhypes.
Where's the bag?
It's
I'm gonna go
over
dig
there.
out the
No,
bag.
I'm not busting that top out. I cannot.
Okay, we have a game to play.
We do. We're so excited.
Sorry.
We
I
think
was
we know
looking at the card
Lollapalooza,
like, what?
but over 170 artists. That's a lot of artists.
So
Yes.
not even if
Over
you're
the
even if you're
weekend.
great at music, you don't know all the bands that are there. So we have a fun little game we came up with. It's called Lipstick or Lala. Okay, we're gonna say something to you guys, and ultimately you have to guess if it's a band at Lollapalooza
Or a
lipstick
Or
shade.
the name of a lipstick, because you know how they have like the
Oh, I
fun
know.
names.
Oh, I
Yes.
All right, you guys ready?
Okay, I guess so.
All right.
So you kick it off to
The
first.
first
You're
one,
not.
Girl Tones.
That's a group.
That is a group.
What do you think?
Well, I already
Oh, you just told
sorry,
me.
I just said.
Oh,
So
Roman ruined it.
I'll let you both guess
Can
next
you
time.
let them answer?
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Roman.
Sorry. My bad.
You know what? Let's
All
not even ask. Just go through it. It'll be fun. It'll be fun like that.
My bad.
Okay, Pretty Pony
That's a lipstick.
I think it's a band.
is a lipstick.
I know that
All right.
color.
La
I
Femme.
think.
That's a band.
Band.
It's a band.
Okay. People are ugly. I think that's funny that that's on there.
You can see with the straight face.
Well, people can be ugly inside.
I think it's a band.
I'm going band.
Yeah, thank goodness. I don't know if I'd buy ugly in a lipstick.
I don't think so.
Dragon Girl.
Lipstick.
Ooh, I'm gonna go band.
Lipstick.
Okay.
It's a fiery red. I know it.
Oh, you know that.
Okay.
She's like, my shade, my single girl shade. Okay. Lady Danger.
I think
no,
it's
that's
a
a lipstick.
Lipstick. You guys are good at this. Better than the country artists do.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Thank God.
The Dare.
The Dare.
Oh, that's a band.
Oh, that's a band.
It's a
Yeah,
band.
come on. Dare.
Dare.
It's not a lipstick.
I don't know.
Hey Nothing.
That's a lipstick.
Band.
It's a band.
Uncensored.
Ooh, that sounds like a
Oh, that
lipstick.
could be both.
But I'm gonna go band.
I'm gonna go lipstick.
Lipstick.
Okay.
You're like, we'll just do the opposite.
Yeah,
one.
right.
Let's just write every
Someone's gonna win, right? Yeah.
Boa.
Band.
Band.
It is a band.
Royal Otis.
Band.
Yeah, you guys are getting good now.
Like, what color would that be?
I know.
don't know.
Yeah, good call.
Royal Purple. Tsunami.
That's a lipstick.
A lipstick.
It's a band.
Ooh, you
I've
both
seen
were wrong.
like a sandy.
I don't
blend.
like
Yes.
I don't know.
You know, like those-
Yeah.
High Drama.
Ooh, that sounds
Lipstick.
like a lipstick, but it sounds like a band. I'm gonna go lipstick.
No, that's
It's how we came up with the game.
Lipstick.
That is a lipstick.
Okay.
All right.
Ruby Woo.
Lipstick.
Lipstick.
All right, last but not least, Rogue Triumph.
Band.
Band.
Lipstick.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Who's naming this stuff?
You also have to tell us the brands that have made these like.
But it just
lipstick
shows you,
names.
like, I mean, honestly, like, there's so many bands. I mean, I pride myself in knowing a lot about music. I've never heard of a lot of these bands, you know, but like that
Well,
just
it's cool,
shows you.
though. I remember Billie Eilish in her docuseries was talking about how I think it may have been Coachella, but it actually may have been Lollapalooza, and she was performing, and she was at like the smallest stage, and so she's performing at like one.
Yeah.
And she's like, there was a few people just walking around, and there was one girl there who knew all the lyrics to her song, like Ocean Eyes, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I felt like I made it, that someone could recite it back that I didn't know." And these are these amazing stories. Like I was the only one sitting in front of her stage at Lala. Like this is how those things happen.
The next,
Yeah.
the next Billie Eilish is performing at 1 o'clock today. you
Yeah,
know? I mean,
exactly. Go find the
That's actually
stage.
was going to be my next question for you guys. Have you seen anyone during your years at Lala that you have remember watching and then now they're a big name?
That's a great question. Not at Lollapalooza.
Okay.
Luke Combs is the headliner tonight. I worked in country radio for a long time, and to see Luke Combs in a little performance club and to see what he's become, like, I love those stories, you know, because here's a guy who just, and actually he started performing covers in Nashville and literally would just, that was it. He did covers and did one new song a night. That was it. But his voice was so big, got discovered, and now he's, I mean, he did the United Center millions of times. He's headlining Lollapalooza. So to see those people, if you're in from the beginning, you have a lot of pride in knowing, like, oh, it's so cool what he's become, you know?
You know what? I saw Luke Combs actually, I think it was 2013 or 14 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh, really?
Tiny venue, tiny
That sounds
venue.
tiny.
Yeah,
Yes.
it
But I
Off
love
the bat.
that. You know it's going to be small.
Yeah, for sure.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited to see?
Oh my gosh, that is so hard.
Why did
hard.
you look at him?
Because
You don't wanna say
because it's not. I'm most excited to see Tanner Adele.
Yeah.
So she was on Beyonce's album.
Country
so
artist.
she is a country artist, but she's got a lot of feist to her.
yeah.
She got the Buckle
Like
Buddy
you.
song that I love it.
She wanted to see herself.
So I really like her, and that would be one that I feel like if I saw her in a few years, I'm not even going to be able to get near her stage, you know. So that would be like who I'm most excited to see. It's hard to get the opportunity to see them because they're not like touring huge, you know. So I'm really excited.
Where can people follow the journey with you at Lala?
Okay, so
Social
obviously
media.
my socials at Kenzie Canair, and then our socials at
Kenzie and Roman. Yes, and we share and collaborate all together. You'll just follow us.
Find one of our pages, you find them all.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's always good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
I'm excited
thank you for
you
being with us. We will see you on, wait, what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday.
Thank goodness. We'll see you on Friday.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at Noon.
Now at noon, the gates are open at Grant Park for Lollapalooza, and Jake is live with the latest on tonight's performances and so much more.
Passing the torch, Illinois' longest-serving congressman is stepping down. We'll hear from Danny Davis coming up next.
And we're seeing a little relief from the heat. Caitlin has the latest on how long that break is expected to last. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sylvia Perez.
And I'm Brian Jackson. As Lollapalooza kicks off today, which means thousands of people are already lining up at Grant Park. The gates have just opened to let some of those music fans in.
And Jake is joining us now live from the biggest festival of the summer. Jake, I was outside and I saw the people headed that way. They're excited to get this thing going, aren't they?
And going it is. That's right, Sylvia and Brian. Good vibes, good music, good people, and thankfully, really good weather. Four things coming together to make for an epic opening day of the four-day festival known as Lollapalooza. Gates opened just about an hour ago. You know they're open when you see everyone walking through doing the wristband thing, putting the wristbands up in the air because you got to have the wristbands to get in. A wide variety of music just on the first day alone. One of the headliners tonight, Luke Combs, taking the Bud Light stage at 8:30. He did a somewhat surprise performance at the Metro 2 days ago, but is going to be taking the stage right over there a little bit later tonight on the opposite end, because you know they got two headliners going at the same time. You got Tyler, the Creator, at the T-Mobile stage, taking that stage at 9 o'clock. Not his first time here. He was here back in 2021. You might remember he was supposed to be here last year, but had to drop out, and Megan Thee Stallion filled in his spot. But right before Tyler, the Creator, one of the bigger names that people are excited about, not just today, but over the course of the 4 days, you got Gracie Abrams taking the T-Mobile stage at 7, right before Tyler, the Creator. Gracie Abrams has been making a name for herself. She opened for Olivia Rodrigo, who's going to be here in a couple of days. She opened for Taylor Swift, so she's most certainly going to be one of the biggest names out here. Gates open at 11 o'clock. First of 4 days, more and more people are going to be coming out. But as you can tell, people are very excited to be here. And honestly, thankfully, guys, beautiful weather. Do you guys have a favorite Lolla set? I'll never forget Bud Light stage seeing Paul McCartney years back. That's probably my all-time favorite. Do you guys have a favorite out here?
No, but I actually, if I could go this weekend, I would do the Sabrina Carpenter thing on Sunday.
See, and I want to see Tyler, the Creator.
Sunday, come on, come with me. I'm going, come on.
Yeah, work on some tickets. I know you're going to be out there with the kids. Have fun.
I'm sorry, IFB's breaking up. I can't hear you. Okay, I got to go. Okay, bye.
He's gone. Thanks, Jake. Hey, if you want any details on all the road closures as a result of Lolla, we do have a full guide for you online. Just scan this QR code or head to fox32chicago.com. And Chicago's favorite family-friendly Latino festival is back for its 53rd annual celebration. Fiesta del Sol kicks off today with live music, local food vendors, and carnival rides. One of the festival's co-chairs joined Good Day Chicago this morning to talk about what makes Fiesta del Sol such a meaningful celebration.
It originated as a block party by PNCC getting its first high school in the Pilsen neighborhood, and since then we have awarded over $1.3 million in scholarship for undocumented students. So especially now more than ever, with the administration of pulling funding for a lot of undocumented students, I feel that some of the work that we do is more important than ever.
Fiesta del Sol is free and runs through Sunday. It kicks off in Pilsen at 3 p.m. today along Cermak Road between Ashland and Morgan Avenue. Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Chicago, huh?
And great weather for all of these festivals as we give you another live look outside at the Bean. Thankfully, we've got a cool down. We got Lolla going on. We got Fiesta del Sol, and everything's lining up pretty good weather-wise.
Oh, yeah. Finally, we get it on the comfortable conditions. So everyone visiting for Lolla or otherwise, It is going to be lovely outside. Unfortunately, though, it might look a little bit hazy. So we've got sunshine, but we also have smoke in the upper levels of our atmosphere. So an air quality alert is in effect for us in Chicagoland, with the exception of Kankakee County, until midnight tonight because of the smoke in the upper levels. With that being said, it's also very windy, but the temperatures feel good. 73 degrees.